Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian, and I'm getting ready to go to my second job. It's a Saturday morning, and I wanted to get on here and kind of go through as our second video. I want to explain the business plan God style. When I was in business before, I had a certain set of things that I lived by, and that was profit above all. OPM, other people's money, use other people's money. Use debt. These are worldly ways to grow business, and it works. If it's done properly and with a little luck, it works. Look at Donald Trump. But that's not God's way. God's way is to have no debt, because God says that if you have debt, you become a slave to the master who loans the money. So, goal number one for P.B.M. vending, no debt. That means we're going to have to finance ourselves. So one of the things that I've done is, and I showed you in the last video, I've got two machines. I just ordered two more, which this is amazing, by the way. I ordered them Friday afternoon. One of the two arrived, no, Thursday afternoon. I ordered it Thursday afternoon. It arrived Friday morning. Holy cow. But anyway. Okay, so here's the difference between the world and God's style. Okay? All the videos that I've watched, they all say use the 3-head vending machines because it gives more choice and greater possibility to make money. That's probably true. We're going to go in, and when we get a place, we're going to put in a single head. Why? Because a single head cost $89. A triple head cost $169. That means if I was to do all triple heads, the goals that we have would take twice as long. Our budget monthly is going to be $400. Now, could I do that? Yes, but that would leave me no room at the end. And now, and I'll show you this later, but 5 or 6 months into our plan, I'm going to have to start using money that the machines are making to meet the goals, because the number of machines we're going to purchase goes up. But our goal here is to have no debt. Now, one of the things that I started doing several years ago is every year I get a personal loan and I put it into a ministry account, and the ministry pays for it over the course of a year. I didn't consider that debt because we had the money to save. For some reason I always found a way to spend it. This way, if it's just a bill that I have to write every month, I make sure that that bill gets paid. And that's how it's worked. And God's blessed it, and we're doing fine. So our business model is going to be this. We're going to go in, we're going to put in a single head machine. And then we're going to look at it not 1 month, but 2 months later. And if it's a good producing machine relatively to the other ones, then we'll put a triple head in. Then we'll take that single out and we'll use that as for the next one. That way, the good accounts, we can keep triple heads in, and we can continue to grow using the single head. Okay? That's the plan we're going to use. We're not going to put triple heads in anything. Now here's a downside to the way the world wants to do it. If you put a triple head in every single account, you're spending the same amount on a dud account that you're spending on your good account. If you use a single head and that's your lead, and it turns out to be a bad account, and by bad I mean generating something, you've got $89 sitting there, not $170. Okay, so in the long run, I believe this will work, and it'll be affordable for us, and it to me makes more logical sense to get the most out of the assets that God has given us. Now, a couple other business things that I have learned over the years: buy new, not used. One of the things I noticed when I was watching all of those videos is these guys, and again, they may be right, is they want to buy cheap or used machines to get their business started because it's cheaper. That's true, and there's nothing wrong with that. Here's the problem that I have. I don't have the time to fool with fixing machines. I don't want to keep a large inventory of parts. As an example, there's a machine called the Vinstar 3000, and the little lids on the things come off all the time. And they're probably cheap, but so is the coin mechanism and the plastic stand where the things come out. I don't want to keep an inventory. I want to use good machines, new machines, so that they last at least as long as it's going to take for the first 2-year part of our business plan. That way I don't have to keep inventory, I don't have to tie money up in that, I don't have to waste my time trying to fix a piece of garbage. Just my opinion. Now, the next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to reinvest all the money, every penny that these machines make, back into the business, because as time goes along, each month we're going to be buying more and more machines. I mean, like for the first 4 or 5 months, we're going to do 2 machines a month. Then for a couple of months, 3 machines a month. Then a couple of months, 4 machines a month, until we get up to 7 machines a month. So in order to do that, we're going to need to reinvest every penny. I'm not pulling a dime out. We may not put it all into machines. We may have to put a lot of it into candy and supplies. But every penny will be reinvested. Now, in order to do that, in order to keep that business plan, that means we have to keep some triple heads in reserve. It's kind of like an army. We're going to put the privates out in front to do the fighting. The single head machines is what we're going to lead with. Then in reserve, we're going to have several, not a lot, but several triple heads. So that when one of the single heads produces well, we'll pull it back and we'll put forth one of the generals, a triple head. That's how we're going to lead this front. So in order to do that, we had to have a triple head. And I told you I ordered 2 machines. I ordered 1 triple head and 1 single. The one that came in yesterday afternoon was the triple head. So last night when I got home for my second job at 10:30 at night, I sat down and put together my first triple head. Was it easy? Once I did it, I think I can probably put one together in about 10 minutes. But it took me a lot longer than that, and it was very frustrating. And by the way, whoever writes the directions for those on how to assemble those machines, they need to go back to common sense school. I mean, I'm not handy with my hands, and I kind of figured it out, I think. Oh, and here's another thing I noticed. After I put the triple head together, I had a bag full of screws and nuts and bolts, and I have no idea what they go through. I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 pieces to the thing that you put together, and 2 of them screw. There's only one thing that you have to screw down with the nut and bolt, and that's the machine to the stand on a flange. That's 2 screws, 2 nuts, 2 bolts. Why they gave me a dozen, I don't know. I'm going to keep it, the nuts and bolts, and I'm going to use them probably eventually. But I even looked around just for screw holes just in case I missed something. There is no place for a screw hole, none at all. Anyway, So anyway, I put that machine together. Oh, and I want you to take a look at it. Where is it? There it is. That's our first triple head. Can you see it? Now, when I called in my order this time. I did not do it over the computer. First one I did over the computer. Second one I did online because I wanted to make sure I got it right. She asked me how I wanted these three set up. I could have gotten 3 gumballs, or I could have gotten 3 candies, or any combination thereof. And she said the classic one is candy on 2 sides, gumball in the middle. And I said, okay, I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. So that's what I did. I went ahead and got it, put it together. Another thing I learned is these things are heavy. I mean, the base on this thing, and I thought about it, of course, it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you're going to hold some weight and you don't want it to tip over, you got to have some weight. So anyway, I wanted to come on and tell you a business plan, how we're planning on going ahead, and why it's going to be different for our vending than it is for some of the other ones you're going to watch on. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying ours is going to be a little bit different than what they're doing, and that's fine. That's fine. But there are other ways to do it rather than just going out there and going into debt or buying garbage machines. So we're going to do it we're going to go a different way, and I believe this is the way we want to go. Well, reach down there and hit subscribe. If you would, please subscribe to our channel. The more subscriptions we get, the better we like it. I want to give God as much glory as we can through the whole thing, so I need lots of people to watch the videos. Tell your friends to watch, and I'm going to try to do as many videos as I can. I've already got a whole list of ideas I want to do, and they're only going to be 5-10 minutes long. You guys have a great day. Reach down there and hit subscribe, and we'll be back to you in the next video.